This morning, I decided to do something very different. I had a difficult time the past few days trying to manage my feminine, masculine energy, and I talk about that in another post, another YouTube post. I might not publish this, I might just make this a blog post instead. But so today I said I need to switch things up. I was remembering my vision board that I created and I wanted to start aligning myself to some of the visions and the mood that I created in this board. I start my personal new year in March, and so I was using January and February to kind of get a feel for the mood board. I've got it posted in a place where I can see it on a daily basis. And it's also a screensaver on my phone. And there's like a little message in the middle of the screensaver that says something like, live like you're rich. And then there's some other things tied to that. But anyway, so this morning when I woke up, I said, I'd like to do something different today. I'd like it to be outside of the house. And then I started thinking about my budget, like what can I actually afford to do for me today? And I'm like, I have the money to do this. Yeah, I would have allocated these funds for something else that is actually that needs to be taken care of. But today I'm going to change this plan because it's really important for me to start living and moving in a way that aligns with what I currently set out for myself through this vision and mood board that I created. And all I wanted to do was just go out and just have breakfast. Go out and have breakfast in a place that's a little outside of my side of town, not that far, maybe about 15 minutes out. And it's a place that I've been to before. They had great staff, great food, and an Irish cream coffee that I realized that I really enjoy. And it would be my second time showing up there. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to do that. And I had a moment where I invited my son to go along because I wanted him. We haven't really been able to do a whole lot together. The budget has been really tight. He's turning his attention on trying to get in school. I'm, doing my own things to try to increase my income and all those fine things. And we just hadn't had a time to do anything together outside the house in a while. So I invited him out to go, and he got up. It was early this morning. He went ahead and got up, and then, a friend of his called, and his plans changed, immediately changed. And so I said to myself, it's okay. I I'm gonna still go. And I had a little bit of a back and forth. Well, maybe I shouldn't go since my son's not going and it wasn't really in the budget this week. Maybe I shouldn't go. And I completely got rid of that thought and pushed it aside and said, no, you're going to do this. And when I went there, I'm glad I did. I was able to seat myself at the bar, and I had my Irish cream coffee and my breakfast burrito, and I had a chance to talk and meet and mingle with the staff and some of the other customers that were there. And we just started talking about life. We started talking about like the jobs that we had, and we talked about the economy, and it was just such a positive vibe. And I'm glad that I went. And now that's my go-to place when I need that extra, push, that extra motivation, when I want to be around people that I know, that have a positive attitude and just a great outlook on life. And these are the people that I have a part in my vision board where it talks about friendships and connections, my idea of friendships and connections, and you just never know. So I'm going to make that a more frequent thing that I will do for myself in the future when I just need that extra push, that motivation, and a little bit of inspiration and the connection with people. Because sometimes when you're working in a remote space, you can kind of get lost there. You can kind of get lost being at home and behind the computer and all that stuff. And so I've been transitioning myself in a way where I'm just not always behind the scenes so much. I have a small other job that I do, and sometimes I will go on site, and it does require me to be around children. So that can be fun. It can be a handful, but I had one of those days yesterday where I was there and I was able to get some admin stuff done for that business, and then get to play with some of the children at the same time. So that was a little different. So just finding my way of creating this life and lifestyle that I feel like is connected to the person that I am becoming. So that is the whole point of this little rant. And I'm just going to go ahead now that I'm back home. I'm going to get started with my day. Before I get started with my day, I want to add on that I also, after doing that, it also prompted me and reminded me of a couple of other things that I also needed to do, that I could tackle on my way back. So the beauty of the whole thing was that I was coming from a direction where all the other things that I needed to do and that I had been put off, or I had to wait, or I felt too overwhelmed to do and to think about, as I was coming back home, I was able to hit up those spots on the way back home. So it made it a little bit easier for me to tackle those things. And so I think I want to try to unpack that in a different way, maybe in another blog post, and look for ways in the future to give some input for other people who are struggling with the moments of overwhelm that they might get, trying to manage the things that they want to do with the things that they have to do. And so for me, starting with me first and making that the goal at the beginning set me up to be able to think logically and soundly about what my next logical step could be on how I can get stuff done that I hadn't been able to get done until today. So I'm really proud of myself that I was able to do that for me and still choose to do it and not talk myself out of it, because that has been a common theme that I have been grappling with for as long as I can remember. I feel like that's always going to be my, as they say, vice, is to I don't to remember me in all of the things that I'm trying to do. I have to ask myself, is that good for me? Does that include me? How does this work well for me? And be okay asking myself those questions, and be okay doing the things that actually make me feel good first. So that's the rant for today. And I'm going to turn my attention to another blog post and do something else for me, my goals first, before I start tackling some of my other remote tasks that are not connected to my things, just my way of making my money, my other money. And so, anyway, that's my rant for today, and I'm out.